Yeah, me again. So, yeah, so everybody knows me. So, yeah, thank you, Ben, for the talk about the DSPY. And I just want to say something about DSPY when I first interact with that. I think it's quite complicated, and then you need to know how it operates under the hood, because you're gonna learn how the signature looks like, their module, and also how you're gonna inject your data set or like your knowledge into DSPY. And the thing I felt was that it's so confused if you didn't know how it operates. And then you end up into like debug DSPY. Because based on my experience, I think Ben was ending up about you setting the retrieval model, which is the parameter RM, and also the language model for the generation LM. So when I try to use my own model instead of the default model or like the model provider that DSPy already offers, like those kind of open AI model. But in my case, I need to use my personal fine-tuned model because of the certain things that I was trying. And then I tried to set up the retrieval model and try to set up the language model for the generation. And there was a lot of things I changed. And then I end up with like my whole customized configuration when I was trying DSPY. So it's just kind of things like make you guys to know like how hand-on is important, how like why we need to host these sessions for everybody, so that you need to know how you're gonna code in and how you need to do the prompt engineering, so that you could get experience and when you are doing your research. So yeah, I'm going to do a little bit about RAG. So I think everybody is able to access this collab. Is anyone is not able to access this collab, please raise your hand. What's it? The links? Okay, the links. This one. Just give me a few seconds to Armstrong. Good? Okay. So yeah, first you still need to select like the runtime you wanted. GPU would be better because I'm gonna use the Hugging Face transformer model. So after you select your runtime, just as what you guys are supposed to be familiar with, just connect to the T4, and then when I need to install some. Oh, I'm Robert. Oh, why? Bridge. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'm good. So now I still need to install some libraries. This is more about like the transformer, also about doing the RAG chain. So some kind of use the LangChain stuff, and then. It's gonna take a few minutes to run all the installation. So I pre-run this whole script before, so I'm not going to like click the installation again. So you can see from the log, there are certain like downloading scripts over there, and then it takes quite a while to install those kind of stuff. And then something may happen at your end because I faced that, like the certain pipe library is not compatible with each other, so you may need to specify the versions. I was facing like the FS spec that's supposed to be old version, like 2024.9, but somehow it's not compatible with the LangChain stuff, so I forced it to install a new version, 2024.10. So I'm not sure if you guys would face similar problem or not, but just in case, if you get some error message about the installation of library, you may need to specify that because it's gonna install like tons of stuff here. And then after that, you just need to import the libraries that installs and then that's you need. So that is more like common sense when you're starting to code, and then you need to import those kind of libraries. And at least for me, I feel like it's super hard because you need to figure out those kind of dependency and figure out those kind of like version and then compatible issues across these libraries. But this script is already fine-tuned, so you didn't see like how I debug this and how I configure those kind of like library stuffs. But if you try your own making like your own research, then you will face that. Yeah, but try to feel free to enjoy that experience, and then you'll get there. So now I'm going to use Hugging Face model. Yeah, as Ben already mentions, because if you want to use the more powerful models, you may need to put your tokens to access those models. And in this demo, I'm just using like this small LM7B instructed models. And then I'm going to select like CUDA, make sure I'm running on GPU, but I'm already on T4, but it still could be like a GPU. And then load the tokenizers from the certain from this model that specifies on the Hugging Face, and then to the device on the GPU device. So here's the log that is kind of like you need to download the model from the Hugging Face and then load those kind of like tokenizers or like the merge text or any configuration about this model, so that you could able to use the Hugging Face model based on their transformer package. And if you load it successfully, then I'm starting to just demonstrate that if I didn't use drag, then what would the model answer? So I still use the question about the FIFA 2022 because the model doesn't know that, so it would be easy to show like the model doesn't know that. So after I inject a certain rag information into the model, then the model would be able to answer the question. So after you, because this model was trained by a certain instruct, so you need to use this kind of template, which means you need to specify this is a user role and then a user prompt. But if you have additional information like system prompt, you could also specify like the role system and then the context, like you are a helpful assistant, and then you need to answer a question based on the knowledge I give, or based on what kind of persona, whatever prompt techniques that you could use there. And because this is a chat template, so when I use the input, I need to kind of like follow in the template so that the model would understand what my question is. And then after that, I'm gonna hand the input into the model and then call a generation. So if you see the logs here, this is about the things I'm putting into the model. So as you could see, the model is trained by a certain like tags, like I'm star, I'm n, and something. And this is the system, and this is the user. So this is something quite important when you started to like coding, because you need to know this kind of like spatial term is specific for the model. So if your questions is including some kind of this term, the model may get confused because it was trained to learn this keyword is important to analyze the context. So this would be the input. So I asked like the model, what's the FIFA, the winner of the FIFA 2022, and then here's the answer. It says the FIFA 2022 winner was France, but as if you guys know, the winner was Argentina, and the MVP was Messi. So now just make sure like the model didn't know that kind of knowledge, so it cannot give me the correct answer. And then let's go to the rag part. So the rag part, what I did is I used information just from this URL, which is a wiki page. Oh. Just somewhere like wiki page, I try to like just copy paste the whole context and then save that in a TXT file as a knowledge. But you could try to link to whatever knowledge source you have. If you have the database, then you could have just write the code to link to your database, or you have some file storage, you could write the code to link to the file storage. But in this example, I'm just using like a TXT file, and I just copy paste the information from just a wiki page. So if you see from here, like here, I'm just loading that file. And then that contains all the information here in this wiki page. And then I'm going to do encoding part. So I use this character text splitter, and I define a chunk size of 500 and overlap is 50. So you could try to play around this configuration because the knowledge chunks would be like in different size, and that would affect the performance of the model when you do the retrieval part. And that part, I think Kahelia covered that a lot in the past few days. So you could try to play around that. And for this demo, it's more about let you guys get familiar with how to use this. But those parameter matters. And then after you do a chunking, then you got the large document here about this wiki page information into chunks. So here is about the logs of how the chunks looks like. Because I copied from the wiki page, so there might be some kind of space or like new lines there, and I didn't formulate like knowledge file. So you see like the chunk 1 is like this, and the chunk 2. But like the chunk 6 is quite large because I think there is a table on the wiki page, and then it looks like this. And then the seventh chunk, I think there were more maxima 7 because I set up the chunk size as 500. And then after that, I use this embedding model to do the embedding stuff. And again, this is just a model that is OK to not use any token for a demo on Hugging Face, but you could choose whatever embedding model you like, and then use that to do your embedding. So after that, you encode your chunks. Then here is the loading about like the embedding model, just as you see before about loading a transformer model. And then after that, you could see the embedding, which is resulting in a tensor. And the embedding is just more about the matrix of those kind of information in the chunks and this kind of variable to let the language model to understand how the data representation is. And after that, which means you have the knowledge that is already ready there for the model to understand what the kind of additional information you want to inject into the model so that the model could answer your questions. So we need to retrieve the most relevant information from the knowledge. So because my question was about the FIFA, so my query for the retrieval is who was the winner of the FIFA 2022? And then I just need to do this kind of code, make sure this, my query use the same embedding model that I used before when I embedding my knowledge, because you make sure those kind of embedding numbers is the same as what you did for the knowledge base so that you could retrieve the correct knowledge. And then I use just a simple similarity method, which is cosine similarity, try to find the most relevant knowledge from my knowledge source. And then, so because cosine similarity is the larger is better, and the lower is not is less relevant, so I just choose the maxima one and then find out the index of the maxima chunks that is related to my query. So here, just print screen the most relevant information I got from my knowledge, which says Argentina defeat France in the latest final, and that was happened in this student in 2022. And then this is the cosine similarity scores for the 7 chunks I made before. So you could see like the highest would be 0.58. It's not too high, but it's not too low. So it's more about just select based on what kind of knowledge you have. You might not have the most relevant information to your query, but at least you could get as best as possible based on your knowledge. And then after you get that, you just use prompt technique to kind of inject net knowledge into your prompt. So now I'm not doing anything fancy. I just write a simple prompt just saying based on this knowledge, and then who is the winner of FIFA 2022. But you could use like DSPy to do whatever fancy stuff that you could do. But the thing is that if you wanted to be more straightforward and make sure whatever you are coding is what you wanted, I would say just go with like a simple one, and then it will be easy. Then you go to the advanced one to use the DSPY. So here would be the result. I print out here. So the output is here. It says like, okay, I'm getting the winner of. It answer my question like the winner of FIFA 2022 was Argentina, which is the case that we didn't see it before because the model didn't know. The model said the winner was France, and now the model says the winner was Argentina. So that is kind of like a simple case for RAG, how you could chunk your knowledge, and then how you would able to like retrieve the knowledge and then inject knowledge into a model for the generation of the your query, and you could you could just verify if the model answer your question correct. So that is more like a simple RAG case. And then I think another one is more about like re-ranking stuff. Before I just use cosine similarity to find out the most relevant chunks in my knowledge base. But the thing is that you may not sure if like 0.58 is a good similarity scores, and if the knowledge already contains the contents that you should inject into the model. So sometimes it's not like just select one knowledge and then just inject that. You may need a few chunks. So you may need to know which chunks are better, and also like the order of the chunks might not be based on the relevant similarity scores, like descending order or ascending order. So you may need to reorder it and then maybe select the most relevant top 3 or top 5 and then inject into the model. So this is more about like a simple example for the re-ranking, which I use this cross encoder model to do the re-ranking stuff. So here is similar, that just loading the model from Hugging Face transformer. And then here's the query about you need to re-rank all the scores of the chunks that I made before. So by descending order, descending or ascending? Oh no, it's descending. So if at the beginning here I'm showing like the order of the scores would be like this based on that re-ranking model I use. I'm not using the similarity scores, cosine similarity scores anymore, but I'm not using this kind of a re-ranking model. And then I'm doing the re-rank based on this model, the score the model gives. And this is more about like I need to leave the chunks based on the scores so that I could reorder that. And then after I sort the scores and chunks pairs, and then I could able to know the new scores based on the new pairs of scores and chunks by its descending order. So here I just print out like here is the new order of the chunks, and if you see the scores here, they are following like the descending order, so that I could maybe just select top 3 and then use the top 3 chunks as a knowledge base for the model to answer my questions. So here's the last part about how the model would perform like, but because the example before, the model is able to know what the FIFAs look like. So what's the winner of the FIFA 2022? So now the model is still be able to answer the question that the winner was Argentina. And yeah, again, this is just a simple example of how RAG would be works. And yeah, I left the homework here, but it's not something like you wanted to try or tomorrow. It's more about like you could try to ask a model who hosts this AI bootcamp and who is the speaker of RAG, because it's all related to RAG. And then what the restaurants was chosen on day 1, and you could try like what I did, use the text file, or you could save the information in a database, or you could have like several documents across different sources, and then kind of retrieve knowledge from those files, and then merge it, and then hand to the model. Because this is more like a real world use cases. You might have knowledge store in a variety of data sources, and then you need to do the rag, and then you need to retrieve the most relevant context that you need for your FMware. So that's all I have. Any questions?
Question right here.
Is there a way to increase the size of chunk? I'm getting warning. The size of chunk is, for example, 900. Is greater than specified 500. And then when I am requesting the queries, it gives me wrong answer. Wrong answer is something nonsense, right? I think that maybe it's because of this warning that the chunks are not okay.
What kind of warning did you get?
In 8, now it's embed the document there.
I will try to answer your question first, and I could help you there. The chunk size depends on like how you're gonna split your knowledge. If this is a large file, but you could specify like 900. That's quite a large number, which means these chunks would contain a lot of information, and you're not able to like filter out those information after the retrieval. If you see the code I showed there, after I select the most relevant chunks, I just hand that chunks into the model. So the chunks might contain the information I need, like who was the winner of FIFA 2022, but also contains additional information there. Those information might be garbage. So the chunk size is not like the bigger is the better. You need to specify a better chunks there so that you could not give the model too much, but not too few, so that the model could answer. And for the warning, maybe I work with you there. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions?
Maybe can you
Sorry.
share your data file on Slack or something like that?
Yeah, sure. It's just I just copy paste the full things. Yeah.
When I get different answers.
Yeah, sure. No problem. I'll share that. Any more questions?
I think there is.
Oh.
How does cosine similarity and of a query and document are compared, and get to the different section of the document that are similar?
Pardon? You mean the cosine the method for the retrieval?
Yes, but in the retrieving section. Yeah.
I use cosine similarity first because that is more like the simplest method I could use. But if you want to do an additional one, the one at most the end of this notebook, I use this re-ranking, which is the model. They have their own techniques to how to re-rank the order of the knowledge based on their specific algorithm. So you might see the logs on this notebook, like the numbers of the scores changed on the end of the notebook that I show, like here. The first one is like, this is the cosine similarity scores. But if I use this re-ranking model, the scores changed. So it depends on the model or the algorithm you wanted to use. Not every algorithm would give you the same score. So you need to like try and error to see which one is most feasible for your certain use cases. And then you try to use that one. This is more like you need to try and error because there are so many techniques, and because of the challenge like Kelia spoke before, and you need to do this kind of re-ranking, but maybe it's not good. You need to switch to another like sparse or whatever techniques you have. Good. Okay. Let's hand to Gustavo to talk about aging.
Thank you, Justina. Thank you. Can you just help me open the thing?
Just give me a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good.